So, haven't done videos in a long time because frankly, I've been tapped out. But we are getting ready to hop back into CSA season. Today is Saturday the 23rd of September, I believe. And I think it's the official first day of fall. So our CSA starts next week. First deliveries next week. We have 13 folks signed up. We're doing a bi-weekly CSA. And so, you know, kind of the story behind that is I'd love to see this garden bustling and booming and putting food on the table for a lot of different families. But I also have to remember our capacity, and it's been a year of change, and I started a new job this year, and David and I both work off the farm full time, and we have 2 kids who are involved in activities. So this is really just about like doing something at a manageable scale, and seeing how that fits, because I'm learning what my bandwidth, what my capacity is at this point in time with all the newness, all the change, even though it's not like totally new change. So I'm out in the tunnel. It's early in the morning. It's morning. I needed to come out to raise the sides up because it's going to be warm enough today. I put the drip tape on to water in here. And I'm cutting a little bit of the arugula that we have because it's getting big and bushy and I don't want it to flower out and stop growing. I want it to keep producing for a few more weeks. So I'm cutting that, and we'll just take that inside and eat it. Anything that's too big, I'm going to give to the chickens or the turkeys. So really it's just a matter of that. Okay, so my only goal really with harvesting, aside from getting ourselves something to eat, was to kind of like thin out what's going on. I have a YouTuber that I follow pretty regularly, and something that she always says is like a plant's only goal really is to like set seeds and then to keep reproducing. And so with the arugula, it wants to have its leaves, which is what we eat. But if you leave those alone, it'll set a flower down the center. That's what produces seeds, and then the plant will die. And so I don't want it to do that yet. And so I am chopping off all the leaves. Also, just for like better quality stuff, I don't want to give the old leaves as part of our CSA. I want to give the new little fresh tender guys. The other thing is you may notice that there's little white powder on a lot of these plants. We've been dealing a lot with blister beetles, and these are buggy little bugs that just can really like eat up the leaves. They seem to prefer like brassica, so broccoli, cauliflower, kales, that kind of thing. But they're also now on my beet greens, which isn't a huge deal because I'm hoping to get beets from those. But beet greens would still be good too, like a little lettuce mix. And I see one on my fennel. They don't really seem to be bothering the lettuce, which is good. Although, I don't know, I'm just keeping an eye. So, the white powder that you see is diatomaceous earth. We are not a certified organic farm, but we are what I would consider like organic in practice. We do not use pesticides. We do not use herbicides. Generally, we are hand-picking all of those things off, and I have hand-picked to death a lot of these blister beetles. And diatomaceous earth is actually these like microscopic sea things called diatoms, which have really sharp shells, really sharp edges, and it's the dried shells. And so it's turned into a powder. It's such a fine powder that it doesn't hurt our fingers. But when you sprinkle it on plants and bugs crawl over it, these tiny microscopic, super sharp shells scratch them all up and kill the bugs. And so it's not really a pesticide, but it will help control some of the bugs. The problem with any kind of pest control is that, you know, you run the risk of also like having good bugs killed as part of it. We want to have the ladybugs in here. I don't see bees in here right now. because there's not much that's flowering in here, so they wouldn't be drawn to this space. But like, it's just something to be mindful of, that, you know, just like drugs don't go like, oh, bad cells only. It kills good things too. That can happen even with organic approved, you know, pest control measures. So the thing about it for me though is, like, I've got to get these things under control. I actually do see a couple of them on some lettuce now. We've got to get them under control. And our best measure of control would be to get them off and put some insect netting up, which is our next step. And in a perfect world, we would have done that like 2 weeks ago. But this isn't a perfect world, and we have other things to contend with. But, you know, for our sake, not doing it 2 weeks ago means that I'm dealing with it now, and having to manage the pest. The good news is, as it gets colder, the pest pressure dwindles. These things won't survive as it gets cold. So really, you know, that's one of my preferred reasons for growing in this time of year, is like, there's different pest pressure, but on the front end, we do have to manage it still. So, long story short, this was really just meant to be like a quick video. I'm going to be trying something new with our CSA and putting videos on YouTube instead of the way I was doing it before, because I'm hoping that that will just be like an easier management. Like, hey, go out to our YouTube page. The, you know, week shares are loaded on there or whatever, and have that be a space that I can put some of this stuff. So really, this was just a trial to see how it works. It's not going to be perfect because I'm not a cinematographer, but at least it's something. So it's breakfast time. I'm going to go in and grab some breakfast. I got to clean up this stuff that I've just cut, kill these 2 little beetle bugs that I see, and then we'll be back out here again working today, I would assume. One quick thing that I thought of as I was saying that, diatomaceous earth is actually not harmful for ingestion, which is interesting. They're such small things that they don't hurt us. And in fact, people use diatomaceous earth for animal feed, because some of the bugs that can be on, specifically like hay, are really, really bad for horses and cows. So bad that they can kill them. And so people will mix in diatomaceous earth into a feed to kill the bugs. The horses can ingest it, and it's not anything that actually messes with their system or hurts them. While I wouldn't recommend eating like spoonfuls of diatomaceous earth, we're going to be having this stuff, it will go away. And I didn't have it on anything that I just cut. And by next week, when I'm starting to cut things for the CSA, really most of this will either be blown off, or I'm going to spray it down and wash it off. But really, the next week's stuff isn't going to be impacted by this either. These are just things I'm trying to like make sure that the bugs don't kill my leafy greens on all of the things that I'm anticipating in the next 4 to 6 weeks or so. So just wanted to add that in there. Like, while it still is something to control pests, it is not necessarily something that's like bad for our ingestion, but don't eat spoonfuls of it. I'm not sure if you like it. Old Yeller, you better get out of there. Get. We are not friends. I'm not sure if you like it.